If there's one thing I know today, guys, is that North America has finally been saved. There will be more to come on this, and I've been waiting for a post-investigation result from Faceit themselves. And in case you guys missed it, that's on me because I didn't really talk about this last week. I was trying to wait for more clips to surface about it, but let's touch on it a tiny bit. That being Nocries, the number one, I would say, accused, also a top player on Faceit that resides in North America. So if you are a North American fan or a fan of people who reside in North America that are not even American themselves, hey, welcome to the story because he is our savior, okay? I don't care where he's from. He's living here. He's going to play from here. Nocries is the future, all right? You heard it here. And speaking of the future, he was widely accused because not only did his Faceit pug list, I mean, this guy was playing 10 to 12 matches a day for multiple days in a row. Sponge and the guys talked about it over on Talking Counter podcast. Everyone was talking about some ridiculous clips, and there are some insane clips from this guy. There are also clips that are just, they look super nutty, and maybe it's a crack talent that's up and coming in North America. I believe he is here for school. Maybe we'll talk to him in the future if he wants to do an interview. Nocries, let me know. He DM'd me back once and he didn't return a DM since. So but I can hope. That'd be a killer interview. But it was over the past week where he spent 3 or 4 days at the Faceit facility, and I love this out of them. It's a great throwback to the ROPS days where he was also heavily accused and turns out to be one of the greatest players of all time as we see him currently and what he has done, especially the last 3 to 5 years. It's been insane. So for Faceit to do these kind of things and fly someone out to actually, actually do an investigation in front of their anti-cheat team under direct surveillance. It is a super, super awesome idea. We are still awaiting those results from those tests. We have seen, though, him do one of his first streams, and we've also seen him posting not too many clips. It's actually a bunch of community members posting clips where there is hope here, guys, okay? And I know I'm clinging on to hopes and dreams. I know that. But there is hope here.
One's connector. Close connector.
And just so you guys know how sporadic my mind is, there's not even a Nocries mention in the thumbnail because I'm trying to wait for a dedicated video on all of this stuff. So we'll bring back this topic in a future date once the results are actually published. To my knowledge, Faceit are going to have some sort of unveiling and some sort of revealing from their investigation and oversight of Nocries. But I'm super excited. They've also invited him to try out Faceit or FPL, which is awesome. So more on this soon. I don't want to yap too much on this because I will have a future video probably dedicated to this. If you guys know Nocries and he wants to do an interview here on the channel once those results are published, I am down. Let's kick it off, guys. Hey, guys, just checking in. Just so you guys know, some big news. I'm now talking to the manager of Nocries. So I will be doing an interview sometime very, very soon. If you guys have questions, leave them down below right now. I'm going to try and ask as much as possible, of course, within reason. So we just got confirmation. That's pretty sick. That interview, hopefully in the near future. I still got to talk with them. Leave your questions below. Bye-bye. But also the biggest talk of the town right now is EPL. Who can qualify for those finals over in the ESL Pro League? And a lot of teams duking it out. And I will say this. The biggest surprise so far, leave a comment down below. Who you guys are watching, who you're surprised by, who are you underwhelmed by. The biggest surprise out of these last of the qualifiers to get to those finals is HOTU. And I don't know how you guys pronounce it over there, but Kazakhstan representing Asia, a majority team over there, they had the most remarkable run that I did not expect. I don't know if you guys have been watching HOTU games as of late. This is a Norber-led team, okay? Norber is on this roster, and I have not been following them closely enough, clearly, because they take down Furia, they take down Bait, and they take down an ENCE that has also looked pretty good throughout these quals, and as of late, I bet against ENCE once. Big Rig called me out, Riggin, and I will not bet against them again. They've also been playing some pretty decent counterstrike. These are all major contending qualified teams, likely, and they took down all three of them to qualify up. So shouts to HOTU. That's an amazing looking roster. I would say M80 their run starts off a bit lopsided, maybe a bit unfortunate, and it kind of continued to snowball down from there. North America did not look great throughout all of these matches, at least from what I saw. M80 was our hope, and yeah, our hope fell through, that's for sure. But what fell through even more is we had some T-side rounds on a pick like Nuke for Astralis just not go their way. It was one day where we saw, speaking of the Devil and Ents, we saw them up 12-0 on Astralis. And we're thinking, okay, like maybe that just shouldn't be a pick of yours. They continue back at it. I believe the next day, they get 13-0'd by Gamer Legion. Some straight up disaster rounds. And it's kind of iconic of ESL Pro League and trying to predict these matches because it is such unpredictable CS because Astralis still have a chance to qualify. You wouldn't have guessed it based on the number of games they've been down double-digit rounds in so far and getting 13-0'd. They still have a chance to make it to Pro League Finals. That's how crazy it is.
What a quick tap to the head, dips back. Oof, what a shot. Rigon, that P250 well utilized. It's actually stairs sharp shooting that gets them this far. Rigon, what a fantastic input.
Oh, here we go. Is he gonna get it?
He's lurking, that's where he does his best work.
He's gonna get it. All right, one defender spotted coming back in. Yabby, there we go.
Hey!
That's lovely.
He's back.
All right, end the game.
Yeah, we're done now. Rigon, if you didn't mind just finishing this one off for us. Thank you. Oh, he could! He could! He can't! He can't! Oh, yeah, he wanted it so bad. After that first one, we all started to believe a little more.
Would have been an ace clutch as well.
Yeah. Another go, though. Don't you want to just try? You don't need to. You don't need to, because Magisk with his third double kill from heaven puts a 7th round on the board for Astralis. This is the Astralis we wanted to see.
Hooksy, that was great.
What did he say?
He said, your T-side looks like Astralis.
Ah, fair play. Fair play. He's done well there.
Oh, that's great, Bats.
And another big surprise out there for me, one that I gave praise to not too long ago, as a French-backed organization backed by some of the biggest creators over in France, that being Gotaga, that being someone like Squeezy. They do amazing things. They've also been expanding all of their esports operations and acquired, it's a non-French roster, but it is a French-backed organization, so I would say huge for, I think the roster is Spanish, but it's huge for the French CS scene because they're doing great things. They upset G2. I know you guys didn't see that one coming. I certainly didn't. They upset G2, and someone like Davy G, how are we pronounce David? He, this is a reference back, I think, to an Apex tweet. He's also home dogs, though, with some of the G2 guys. So I think it's Sun Pius and him who had a selfie. So I wouldn't take it too seriously. But I would say I love Counter-Strike because that is a crazy thing to go ahead and tweet. They then lost the next day to Inner Circle, another roster who did surprising things throughout these matchups. And so it's like the polarity of Counter-Strike. One day you have it, man. One day you're doing that with your ex, and the next day you just get brutally beat down back to earth. They do eventually qualify through, though. That is huge. This team has not even steadily, has sharply rose in the rankings ever since being signed. So that's amazing, again, for Gentlemates.
À moins que... Attention, Martinez, qui va devoir décaler une deuxième ligne. Martinez, il veut essayer de les bait. Martinez, il veut que ça sorte. Martinez, peut-être avec le no-scope. Martinez avec le no-scope. Martinez en situation de 1v1. Martinez qui veut peut-être décaler, il a le bon filon. Et là, le Martinez!
Oh, c'est pas possible! Qu'est-ce qu'il vient de nous faire? Qu'est-ce qu'il vient de nous faire, Martinez?
And then finally, for all of you guys, we do have our final matchups of these ESL Pro League last leg matches before the finals, and they're going to be close ones. I mean, these could go either way. I think the only gimme on this one that I've selected is probably a team like Furia. It's kind of surprising they were down there in the 1 and 2 and then eventually 2 and 2 bracket anyway. They have had a brutal back and forth for these matches. It just goes to show you the unpredictability of all of this. Furia coming off their first major victory in years for the organization. Should be momentous, you would think, and now they're struggling just to qualify for a LAN final out there to join a lot of the teams they are among the ranks of. But some great back and forth matchups. It feels like these are major qualifier matchups, to be honest. We see a lot of these teams time and time again. So these will be the last of the Pro League matches we will be covering. And yeah, I would just expect some upsets because we've seen plenty of them so far. But the big credit I got to give so far, HOTU, Gentlemates, I think some some lopsidedness here. G2 on the fringe of elimination. So too is Furia. That's crazy. No one saw. I don't think we saw that coming. These are both teams who have won this year. I mean, what is Counter-Strike right now? And then some other sad news out there that might be expected from some people out there. It was actually first leaked, the fact that Liquid would be signing Elige. I know, we were all stunned by this. None of us saw it coming. I read the comments. You guys were just as surprised as I was. Nobody saw Elige joining Liquid. I get it, guys, but it was first initially leaked by Fragadelphia, posting the roster lineups, of which Elige was partaking in that Team Liquid lineup. And unfortunately for Fragadelphia, it will be Team Liquid withdrawing from that Blocktober event. That is because Team Liquid have now found a different way to actually make Elige eligible for the major. I believe it's 5 matches they have to play with him for him to be eligible on this lineup. It was a bit of conflict at first when Twist and Elige made this swap between FaZe and Liquid because people were concerned Elige wouldn't be an eligible player to even play the major for Team Liquid. I believe the Birch Cup is their saving grace. The number of matches they will get with him there will make him an eligible part of this roster. Thus, they're like, hey, we're not going to go to a Fragadelphia event, which would have been huge for Frag, and that would have been really cool to see. But it makes sense for Team Liquid not to waste their time at the event if not needed. So that will be Team Liquid withdrawing from there, which, again, it sucks. It would have been nice for a TO like Frag to have him, but they will not be attending. And then likely why you guys are here, it's probably not for the Pro League breakdown. It's been a slow week, okay? Let's just spice things up a bit, throwing out some theories, which, by the way, we already had these theories when FaZe Rain unfortunately announced after nearly 10 years with FaZe Clan, one of the most longest single team tenures we have ever seen in Counter-Strike and in esports. I'm still heartbroken by it, okay? I didn't want to talk to anyone that day. Well, we all know he will be going somewhere else. The only good part of that day is he will not be retiring from Counter-Strike. He will be continuing on to compete at least for, hopefully, another few years. And right when he announced that, people instantly thought, okay, what teams are possible to want this man? And I think the list could be, it could be abundant. I don't see top 5 teams, especially before the major, wanting to change things up. But I think a lot of eyes were still wondering, what if someone like S1mple had some sway to pick up a long-tenured CS pro with about as much experience as possible on the market, who announced, hey, I could IGL? I mean, I don't think Nex is probably the replacement move on BC Game, but he doesn't have to be IGLing, that being Rain. And so a guy who is capable of so much, and BC Game wants to actually open their wallets, especially maybe after the major run, maybe before it. I think I would feel bad if they did it before. But once this major concludes, there are going to be plenty of options for someone like FaZe Rain, who will continue to be FaZe Rain until he is signed elsewhere. I'm sorry. But people wondering because S1mple, apparently, thanks to Reddit investigators, had reposted FaZe Rain's statement, I believe over on Instagram, which is no inkling, okay? This is probably a guy just out of respect. I mean, so many pro players didn't repost, but they quoted the tweet or the announcement of Rain saying, what a dedicated player, what a legend of the game. You know, Nico did the same thing. I'm not saying all of a sudden Rain's going to be joining Falcons, but we want to hang on to these theories, okay? This is what we need for CS News. We need potential stories, potential theories out there. So people pointing to the fact, hey, BC Game might have some open roster spots, especially after the major. BC Game should be making changes. If they want to continue to rise and keep up with the impact of S1mple, even someone like Donk is saying, you need someone better than you on this team to learn from, to grow from, and maybe say, hey, you're not the player you once were. As harsh as that does sound, you need someone electric alongside S1mple. Maybe not even as good, but up there in caliber. And does Rain fit that mold? I think they would see a lot of fans and they'd see a lot of return on investment if you are a BC Game. And, you know, they've negotiated big contracts before. The alleged amount was S1mple, the $500K allegedly going to Na'Vi for this few month span before his contract ended, and the alleged amount they're paying him. FaZe does big deals. I don't know how much longer Rain is under contract, but BC Game has the money. The more I talk this out, the more it makes sense to me from a media-wise decision for BC Game and immediate return on investment, but the rest is up to them and to you guys. What do you think about it? But until next time, as per usual, thank you all for watching. I do want to apologize. I know whenever there's like ESL Pro League style matches, it's a bit sporadic, all of my thoughts, because all of these matches are not worth that much to me, in my opinion, so it's hard to cling on to what actually matters. So whenever I talk about things like Pro League or these other events, I get a little lost in the sauce of, okay, this is a story, this is a story. I do love talking about it all, but when it comes to these Pro League qualifying matches, I'm like, okay, what truly does matter? Because I don't think we're seeing the top CS for these matches, but it does add to the confusion of, oh my gosh, we are in such a weird time right now for CS. There are probably at least 5 teams who can win any given event. And now all of a sudden you see G2 struggling. You see Furia. What are you guys doing? It's like, you guys are the recent winners. What's going on here? So yeah, hopefully that discussion was okay with all of you guys. At the end of the day, we love talking Counter-Strike. I love having you guys here on this channel. But until next time, take care of yourselves. We'll see you back here soon. Ta-ta.